In this video, I will be critiquing the AMV Hell video skit, which appeared as part of AMV Hell 8, skit number 82, starting at the 22 minutes and 20-second mark. Editor, Sydney Waffa. Fair warning, this video critique will be discussing toilet humor. So, if you're the kind of person who likes to pretend that you're above this subject matter, now is a good time to leave. The video source for this skit comes from Berserk, the Golden Age Arc, Memorial Edition, specifically Episode 3. Berserk as a property has appeared in AMV Hell ever since the very beginning, showing up in Hell 1, 2, 3, Championship Edition, 4, 5, 7, and now in both 8 and 8.5. It did appear in 6, but not in 6.66, which is where it counts. Too bad. Including the mini and challenge seasons, it has been featured roughly 27 times in total. The show has been featured way too often in the Hell series to be considered fresh, but it does remain an edible ingredient. It's basically a resident of the AMV Hell kitchen at this point. The audio source is the song I Gotta Poop by Gamble. This is completely new to AMV Hell. The song itself lasts only 45 seconds long, and the AMV we're about to see it in lasts 25. That means you're about to hear more than half of the song. Right now.
Move! Out of my way! I gotta go to the bathroom! You gotta move! I gotta poop! 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 Move! My belly hurts so bad! And now I gotta climb the stairs! Oh! I let a little out!
The first thing we see is a door slowly being opened, with a character inside the room carefully sneaking up to it. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Berserk, our main character here is Guts, so that's what I'll be calling him. The music begins slowly, but drums kick in, and we hear our first lyrics, "Move, out of my way." With this said, Guts rushes through the door and impales the unfortunate door opener. This happens fairly quickly, but the sword is visible in a few frames. We don't see any blood, but we can safely infer that Guts has just killed someone. For what reason? The song tells us. I gotta go to the bathroom. This, I hope most people would understand, does not justify murder. The absurdity of this situation reveals the core premise of the AMV. Guts is so desperate for the toilet, he is willing to slay people to find one. Guts notices a couple of people approaching and issues the command, "You gotta move." As he rushes towards them, slicing them with his sword, he continues to justify his actions with, "I gotta poop. I gotta poop, I gotta poop, I gotta poop, I gotta poop." I have to highlight this brief shot in particular, where Guts is running down some steps while the music plays some rapid trumpeting. The video is fast-paced, and the audio is fast-paced. They fit together very nicely here. We cut to an outdoor shot, where Guts continues to mow down human beings in his quest for a toilet. We hear the lyrics, "Move, my belly hurts so bad." Guts is clearly very motivated at this moment in time. Eventually, he escapes from the knights and leaps into a moat. And now I gotta climb the stairs. Fortunately for Guts, in the next cut, we see him at the top of some stairs. This is rather abrupt, but that doesn't really matter, because... oh? I let a little out. We just saw Guts jump into a moat, so we can safely assume that his boots got a little muddy when he climbed out of it. But obviously, the gag here is that he has soiled himself so badly, his boots are now covered in his own fecal matter. I enjoy the implication here that Guts considers this only a little. One can only imagine how terrible a lot would look. The AMV could have finished here, but the editor instead decided to end with this reaction shot from the character Casca. This is a wise decision. If her look of shock isn't funny enough on its own, it also gives the audience a 2-second break to digest what they've just witnessed. You may not know who this character is, but you can readily identify this as the face of someone witnessing a man stomping around with feces on his shoes. And with that, the skit comes to an end. This AMV does contain a handful of editing hiccups. Near the beginning, in this shot we see Guts standing still, looking towards the guards. but in the next cut, he's running towards the camera. Here, we see Guts running down some stairs, clearly indoors. Suddenly, he's outside. We see Guts jump into a moat, and in the next cut, he's suddenly inside a building. What makes this particular cut jarring is the fact that the lyrics just stated to us, "And now I gotta climb the stairs." It appears that Guts has entered through this doorway, and is in fact about to descend some stairs, not climb them, as the lyrics suggest. This is a case of audio-visual dissonance. We see one thing, but we hear something else. These cuts make the narrative flow of the AMV a bit skippy in places, but do they damage the AMV as a whole? This is debatable, but I would argue that no, they do not. As a matter of fact, one could even consider them a mild enhancement to the overall presentation. The cutting may be abrupt, the narrative may be rough around the edges, but you know what else is abrupt and rough around the edges? The lyrics to the song itself. Move, out of my way, you gotta move, I gotta poop. The core premise remains very clear. This is a man who really needs to find a toilet, and he is so driven that he will kill people to do it. Guts is going to go where he needs to go and do what he needs to do. Smooth storytelling be damned. I'm giving the editor the benefit of the doubt on this one. That addresses the editing, but what about the actual subject material? This AMV may have a solid execution, it may weave an exciting mini-story, but ultimately it is telling a poo joke. And if you don't enjoy poo jokes, this is definitely not for you. There really is no point in arguing this. I would like to note, however, that toilet humor is not a new thing in AMV Hell. Way back in Hell 3 we saw the Howdy Doody skit, the original poo joke, and the Karekano skit, which really is just a fart gag. Interestingly, the editor for both of these skits is none other than the project coordinator himself. Toilet humor is just another avenue to explore in the AMV Hell landscape, for better, and sometimes for worse. Much worse. Moving along. This AMV takes an amusing song and seamlessly pairs it with an entirely unrelated and unamusing video source. It isn't simply coasting by on funny audio, however. Both sounds and visuals are fast-paced and heavy-hitting, they match each other's energy, and in execution, they fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. The key word here is synergy. All components combine to become something greater than the sum of their individual parts. The end result is an AMV very similar to the official music video, but through a combination of an exaggerated narrative and a change of setting and presentation, the editor managed not only to put an original spin on the idea, but also improve upon it. It may be telling a poo joke, but as poo jokes go, this is an excellent example of how to do one right.